Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really significant source stack. It's about possibly the most ambitious and maybe geopolitically charged infrastructure project on the planet right now.
That's the Medog Hydropower Station, planned for the Yarlung Tsangpo River, deep in Tibet.
Right. And the scale is just
It
staggering.
really is. We're talking about, what, 60 gigawatts of planned capacity?
Yeah. Which, to give you some perspective, is nearly 3 times the size of the Three Gorges Dam.
And the cost estimates are huge, up to, I believe, $170 billion.
So, Power China says the mission here is, well, twofold. Energy security, naturally, and hitting that 2060 carbon neutrality target. They're aiming for 300 terawatt hours a year.
Which is massive. That's like the annual energy use of a whole European country, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the fundamental tension, the paradox we need to explore. It's this huge clean energy project.
Right.
Smack bang in a region known for, well, extreme geological instability. And it's ecologically incredibly sensitive.
Okay, let's unpack this. Why there? Well, the river itself does something pretty unique there, geographically unique.
Okay.
It basically takes this sharp U-turn around the Himalayas. And in doing that, it drops incredibly steeply,
How steep are we talking?
nearly 2,000 meters, almost vertically over just 50 kilometers of river length. It's a huge potential energy source.
Ah, okay. So the engineers saw that drop. How are they planning to harness it?
They've opted for a cascade system. So 5 run-of-the-river stations, not one giant dam and reservoir.
Run of the river. That usually means less upstream flooding, less seismic risk from a massive water body, right?
Typically, yes. That's the idea. Avoid the one giant reservoir problem.
But hang on, the sources suggest the risk isn't gone, it's just different. How do they capture that 2,000-meter energy head without a big reservoir?
That's the engineering challenge. They're planning these enormous diversion tunnels, 20 kilometers long,
20 kilometers through what kind of rock?
through rapidly eroding bedrock near a major tectonic plate boundary. It's incredibly active seismic.
Oh, heck.
Well, during the initial surveys, just over 15 months, they recorded over 1,000 seismic events.
1,000.
Yeah, ranging up to magnitude 5.6. So it's constantly moving.
So the very geology that creates the power potential.
Is exactly what makes it so dangerous. The uplift creates the drop, but it also means instability. Someone quoted in the sources compared it to building a high-rise building on tofu.
Wow. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. That sounds like a massive gamble just on the engineering front.
It is a huge one.
And while they're wrestling with, tofu geology, what about the environment? This isn't just some remote rocky area, is it?
Not at all. The site is actually inside the Yarlung Tsangpo Grand Canyon National Nature Reserve.
Inside a reserve.
Yes, a global biodiversity hotspot. So building there technically violates China's own regulations on protected areas.
But the impacts don't stop at the canyon edge, do they? What about downstream?
Exactly. The biggest environmental cost gets sort of exported downstream.
Yeah.
It affects millions of people in India and Bangladesh.
How does that work? I mean, beyond the terrifying risk of a dam breach flooding everything, what's the day-to-day impact?
It's mainly about sediment, fine silt, nutrients. The Brahmaputra system, which is what the Yarlung Tsangpo becomes downstream,
Right.
it relies on that sediment load from Tibet to keep the floodplains fertile. Medog is expected to trap most of that vital material.
Threatening farmland.
An estimated 6 million hectares in India alone. Plus, less freshwater and sediment reaching the delta in Bangladesh worsens saltwater intrusion. That threatens the Sundarbans mangroves, a critical ecosystem.
So this isn't just an energy project. It feels deeply strategic. It sits right before the river flows into India.
Absolutely. That location gives China enormous leverage, what some call hydraulic power.
Hydraulic power? What does that mean in practice? Just turning off the tap?
It's more nuanced, but yes, it's control over the flow. Vital water for over 130 million people downstream, and crucially, there are no binding international water-sharing treaties in place for this river.
So they could potentially restrict flow during droughts or maybe release huge amounts strategically. That's immense leverage.
It is. And domestically, let's not forget the social cost. This project involves displacing over 24,000 local Tibetans. It's very top-down.
Leading to cultural disruption, instability. Okay, so how is India reacting to all this?
Understandably, with a lot of concern. They talk about the potential weaponization of water, and they're acutely aware of the catastrophic flood risk if that dam were to fail in such an active seismic zone.
Do they have a countermove?
They do. They're accelerating their own massive dam project, the Shan Upper Multipurpose Project, or SNAP. about 11 gigawatt.
On the same river, just downstream.
Yes, the idea is it would act as a kind of buffer basin, giving them some control and mitigating potential floodways from Medog.
But wait, is building another huge dam in that same region the answer?
Well, that's the dilemma, isn't it? The sources point out that the SMP project faces very similar problems.
Like what?
It's also planned for a seismically fragile area, and its construction is expected to displace potentially over 100,000 people, mainly indigenous communities.
So India's response is to basically replicate the same model. State-led mega infrastructure, huge displacement, high environmental and geological risk.
It seems that way. It highlights this regional pattern where strategic interests and massive engineering projects seem to consistently override local rights and, frankly, ecological common sense.
So what does this all mean? When you step back, the Medog Dam isn't just this incredible engineering challenge.
No, it's much more. It's a profound ethical test, an environmental gamble. It pushes the limits of state power right up against planetary boundaries, like seismic reality and ecological stability.
And the response, the counter dam, seems to fall into the same trap.
Exactly. This race for strategic control, whether it's the initial project or the counter project, ends up imposing very similar human and ecological costs, like this unsustainable cycle of fix to fix the fix, as some put it.
Which leaves us with a pretty challenging thought for you, the listener. If this pursuit of strategic advantage through massive infrastructure keeps leading powerful nations down the same path, sacrificing local communities and ignoring clear environmental risks, what needs to change?
Yeah, how can the international community, or maybe just the regional players themselves, shift towards a truly collaborative way to manage these vital shared